Dave Scott, Hub Media, back with Justin from Elevation Homes. This week it's tip number 3. And we're talking about when the weather gets bad and you get those damages that come from a storm, some shingles off the roof, a little bit of water damage, siding, whatever it may be when the weather is bad. Justin, what's the protocol on that, and how do you help folks when they have to deal with these problems that occur with the bad weather?
Hey, Dave. Yeah, good morning. It's a prevalent subject, especially after a storm, and I've noticed being out here in Norfolk for the past few years that we definitely do get those calls almost after every kind of weather event, wind event, or even heat for that matter. We don't necessarily have a dedicated, kind of handyman fix-it team. So we kind of divvy it up between the 6 or 7 of us to try to help out the people around here. For the vast majority of Norfolk, and it's pretty wide open. If you live out in the country, we're a little more exposed. So those calls do come in a little more frequently. I would say more so than they did, in the city, working in inner Brantford and Hamilton and things like that. Just the houses seem to protect each other a little bit more. But there's a couple of ways to go about it. We're always there to try to help on these situations. I mean, obviously the severity of it is going to dictate the timing and things like that. But more often than not, it is like what you said. It's like I'm missing 4 or 5 shingles. My ridge cap came off. We lost, a quarter of the siding and that sort of thing. And luckily for that kind of stuff, that's kind of we have outside trades that work with us on a semi-weekly basis. So a lot of the time I can kind of dispatch those guys and we can get stuff, tidied up within a week kind of thing. Right. But obviously there's a 2 ways to go about it. There's you pay for your own repair if it's something small. And then, the other way would be if it was substantial, I guess you could potentially claim insurance. As far as the insurance side goes,
if it was insurance, can you, let's say my insurance company says, oh, we use John Doe. And I say, well, no, I'd like to get a price from Justin, my friend at Elevation. Can you do that? Can people just request a quote when there's damage done? Do you know?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and that's what a lot of people, they're under the impression that you have to use the insurance company's, preferred contractors, and a lot of the times these guys are great guys, and they're doing awesome work. That's usually why they're in that position. However, there's no law saying that that's a must. If you have a contractor that you're friendly with, or you just have a little more trust in. Then somebody coming out of the blue, you can 100% get that quoted and send that in, and there's zero obligation to use their guys or whatnot to get your particular job done.
Perfect. It's really sound advice, because you just when a storm comes, you don't know how far the damage is, do you? Like, you don't know how bad the damage is until someone takes a look at it. You might say, oh, it's like you said, it might be a few shingles, but it might have did more damage that you don't see to a vent or something.
Well, yeah, this is it. Unfortunately, some of these weather events, they tend to reveal stuff that you maybe weren't hoping was there. For instance, we had a 2-story older farmhouse, and I mean older, like 100-year-old. Which we got lots of here in Norfolk, but they especially if you're up on a hill, they stick up. They're well within most of the wind paths that come with. And we went to go repair one just recently, and it gave us a little bird's eye view into why those shingles were tearing off. And the long story short is the entire roof needed stripped with the sheathing. 80% of it was rotted, and so basically what had happened is the nails were holding into dirt. There was nothing up there. It was all the tongue and groove slat boards had rotted away to the point where the shingles were releasing because they had no choice. So yeah, and obviously, you know, the shingles have glue on them. They will bind to each other for a certain amount of time. But then when that glue breaks down, your roof is tearing off.
And I'm sure that person appreciated you being able to see that and find that before it got much worse, right? Because that's just, then that whole house could have been falling apart rotten wise with all the.
Well, yeah, no, it sucks. I mean, it's not the news you want to hear, especially if you've got, you know, a little bit of roof that came off, a little bit of siding that came off, and so on and so forth. But, you know, it's having guys, especially, you know, myself and Jack and Sam and some of the other guys that we have involved with us that have 20 plus years of seeing this kind of stuff. You know, it's great to get that builder's perspective on things that, and an honest builder's perspective at that, because I mean, I'm not, believe me, I mean, like we've gone through before, I'm so busy all the time. I mean, I'm not looking to want to resheathe your whole roof really, to profit from it kind of thing. Yes, it's a great job to do, but in the end, you know, we want to get a cap back on your hat there and get you sealed in. So it's, yeah. And that goes back to the same thing that I've spoke about before with having somebody with a fairly substantial amount of knowledge in homes and residential and stuff like that, look at these things outside of sort of your typical inspectors or insurance adjusters or things like that, because I hate to say it, but a lot of these guys do not have the background to tell you what is what. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. And there's not, you know, not everybody has 20 or 30 years of building experience that's willing to come out and just say and give you the goods, right? But yeah, I mean, I've met many insurance adjuster that took a 6-hour course, and all of a sudden they know everything there has to know about a house from 1867 that's been standing there, and what layers are on that, so on and so forth. I mean, it's almost impossible unless you've been through it, right?
Yeah. Wow. It's great stuff today. I appreciate you taking the time for tip number 3. It's Justin from Elevation Homes. Give him a shout if you need any repairs done. Check him out. He's on Instagram, and he's got a website. Justin, take care. Don't work too hard today, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks very much, Dave.